Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, and valued participants. A very warm welcome to Metalogic's 50th webinar on 2nd of May 2024, a milestone event that marks our commitment to knowledge sharing, innovation, and industry leadership. It is with great pleasure and pride that I, Monica Bachchan, founder and CEO of Metalogic Projects Management Services, welcome you all to this special occasion. I hope I'm audible to all. You can give me a thumbs up.
Yeah, Monica, you are audible. Yeah.
All right, all right. As we celebrate this significant achievement of hosting our 50th webinar, iron ore beneficiation strategy and potential, we reflect on the journey that has brought us here over the years. Metalogic has been steadfast in its dedication to providing valuable insight, fostering collaboration, and driving positive change in the industry. Today's webinar is a testament of our unwavering commitment to excellence and our relentless pursuit of knowledge. Iron ore beneficiation stands at the intersection of technology, sustainability, and economic prosperity. It is a topic of immense importance as we strive to unlock the full potential of our natural resources while minimizing environmental impact and maximizing value creation. Our program today promises to be enlightening and engaging, featuring expert presentation, insightful discussion, and thought-provoking insight into the world of iron ore beneficiation. I am honored to be joined by our distinguished panel of speakers who bring a wealth of knowledge, experience, and expertise to the table. I would like to welcome Sri Abhijit Narendra, IRTS, Joint Secretary, Ministry of Steel, Government of India. I would like to welcome Dr. Sunil Duggal, Chairman Strategy and Policy, Vedanta Limited. I would like to welcome Mr. Pankaj Satija, Executive in Charge, FAMD Tata Steel Limited. We have Shri N.D. Rao, President Project Atha and Amalgam Steel. We have Dr. Vibhuti Roshan, DGM, MP R&D Center of NMDC Limited. I am confident that their contribution will inspire and inform us all. I'm also thrilled to announce that today's webinar will be broadcast live on Metalogic official YouTube channel. If you're facing any difficulty in attending the program, do visit to your YouTube app, type Metalogic PMS, and you will find the live link there, allowing us to reach wider audience and extend the impact of our discussion beyond the confines of our virtual space. As we embark on this special journey today, I encourage each of you to actively participate, ask questions, and share your insight. Let us seize this opportunity to learn, collaborate, and inspire one another as we strive to shape a more sustainable and prosperous future for the iron ore beneficiation industry. Once again, I extend my sincere gratitude to all the attendees, speakers, and supporters for being the part of Metalogic 50th webinar. Let us make this a truly memorable, impactful event. Thank you, and let the webinar begin. I would like to first invite our I would first like to invite Dr. Vibhuti Roshan to set the tone of the webinar by making a presentation. Over to you, Vibhuti ji, and I request you to kindly open your presentation. Vibhuti ji, you're on mute. You're on mute. Request you to kindly unmute yourself first.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, now we are able to hear you. Yes, please put it on slideshow mode. It is visible to us.
Yes, now I think it is visible.
Yes, 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 yes. Please go ahead.
So, yeah, good morning once again. I am presenting about the strategy and potential for utilization of low-grade iron ore. As we know that iron ore that is required for steel, iron and steel production. In the year 2022, we have produced 23 we have produced 125 million ton, and last year we have produced 144 million ton. With this, we are the second largest iron steel producer of the world. And the major concern that right now we have that high amount of CO2 generation. It is around 2.55 tons per ton of metal, whereas in the world it is 1.8. The primarily is because of the sponge iron, and definitely the use of low grade iron ore and non-availability of coking coal is a concern area for that. That's the reason we are having that high amount of CO2 generation. So once we see that the total India has set up an ambitious goal to produce 300 million ton of steel by end of the financial year 3031. And for that, that iron ore requirement is quite huge. It is around 37 million ton. And last year we have produced around 257, 260 million ton. So there will be a huge jump from present level to reaching to 437 million ton by the year 2030-31. So this requires to utilize low and lean grade ore definitely because we have huge resources around 3.2 billion of hematite, and that availability of high grade is very limited as of now. So once we see the beneficiation scenario in India, it's already on the upward trend. In 1819, the total beneficiation was around 15 million ton, which has reached to around 29 million ton by the year 1920, and this again it has gone up to 34 million tons. So definitely, if there is a demand in the market, so industry will scramble and try to breach the gap of demand and try to provide all the raw material for steel making. So I just touch upon the brief that NMDC role in utilizing low and lean grade iron ore. So as per India's growth story, we have also set our tone. We have fixed our very ambitious plan to produce 67 million ton by end of the 26 financial year 26, around 67 million ton, and by end of the financial year 30, we are planning to reach 100 million ton. So that the 300 million ton that is steel, that whatever is being set, and that raw material need to be provided. And definitely it requires a huge amount to utilize huge amount of low and lean grade iron ore, and we have various mines. So as per individual mines, we have set our target so that we can achieve the 67 by 26 and 100 million ton by 30. So I just mentioning here that what so far we have achieved at present. The NMDC has set up 1.2 million ton slime beneficiation plant, followed by pelletization plant at Donimalai. This is the first slime-based pelletization plant in India. And then we are setting up various beneficiation plant at Bacheli and Kirandul, and followed by slurry pipeline. Because slime concentrate, whatever we produce, the evacuation is a big issue. So to deal with that evacuation issue, we are putting up 15 million ton of slurry pipeline, which is connecting Kirandul to Vizag. And for this concentrate right now in our portfolio, we have only two products like fines and CLO and lump. Means that pellet concentrate right now is not in our portfolio. So once we will set up a beneficiation plant at Bacheli and Kirandul, so this 15 million ton will be a pellet concentrate. Can be utilized for the pellet making only. So since we are setting up 15 million ton slurry pipeline, so definitely part of majority of this concentrate will be utilized by NMDC. So that's the reason we are putting up 2 million ton pellet plant at Nagarnar, and 8 million ton we are actively thinking to install at Vizag. So I just touch upon that beneficiation of slime at Donimalai. At our R&D center, we have unique facility wherein we have developed this unique process. Our goal is to develop very simple beneficiation circuit, which should have the minimum unit operation. Like the slime which we are treating at Donimalai, we have developed only beneficiation process wherein we are using magnetic separation only, two-stage magnetic separation only. So total unit operation is only 2. So once we take the iron ore of slime, which is around 48 meth, so which pass through the hydrocyclone and then first stage uh, mag- magnetic separation. And this non-magnetic part again pass through the second stage magnetic separation. So overall, what we are able to get is the feed contained around 58% iron, and we are able to beneficiate it and get the concentrate of 64 grade, which is a blast furnace grade, and with the 80% of recovery. So this concentrate we are using in our pellet plant, which we have set up at the Donimala, which is 1.2 million ton capacity, and it is totally slime based pellet plant. Once we talk about the benefits and utilization of low lean grade ore, definitely siliceous ore need to be discussed. So once you see the BHJ, BHQ in Donimalai region, we have taken up for a development of flow sheet to upgrade this BHJ and BHQ, which is having the unique that it contains quartz and iron layer. So here we are able to produce around concentrate with 64 grade from the 41%. So the BHJ, BHQ, what we have taken from Donimalai region, it was containing around 41.2% of iron content, and which we are able to beneficate to 64 with the yield of 32-33%. The uniqueness of this process, again, that very simple process, we have utilized only gravity separation. No magnetic concentration was used in this complete circuit. So that is the uniqueness of our R&D. We try to develop a simple beneficiation circuit with less amount of unit operation. Here also we use only spiral concentrator. First we crush and grind this BHJ, BHQ to minus 100 mesh, and then we pass through the spiral. And then concentrate of first rougher spiral pass through the cleaner to get the 64 grade of iron content. Concentrate, and the remaining we recirculate it, and then reject of the rougher spiral goes to the scavenger, and then the reject of the scavenger go to that and go as a tail. So this is a totally gravity separation based technology which has been developed at R&D center. So this is the uniqueness of this process. Only gravity concentration we have used, and we are able to upgrade that BHJ, BHQ of 41% to 64 grade, which is a blast furnace grade with 32% yield, and the energy required is very less because we have used only gravity separation method. And the major, in any beneficiation process, once you are crushing and grinding, 35-40% energy goes to the grinding, and remaining 40% goes to the concentration equipment. So here in this particular process, the 35-40% grinding is being used, but for the concentration, in place of 40% of the total energy required, we are using only 10% because we have taken only gravity concentration in this flow sheet. Similarly, just I touch upon right now we are working on the dry beneficiation because the water utilization, water availability at the mine site is water is scarce at the mine site, and so it is not available for the beneficiation. So definitely huge that all the researchers and research people are doing, trying to develop dry beneficiation in this line. We are trying to develop a microwave assisted reduction roasting followed by magnetic separation. Why we have selected microwave? Because of the heating. Because once in the conventional process, the heating takes place through conduction from surface to the core of the ore. So which is very inefficient in compared to microwave, which volumetric heating takes place, and which is very efficient. So we try to upgrade goethite iron ore, goethitic type of iron ore, which was containing around 48 to 50% iron with 10 to 11% of LOI. So first we converted this goethite into magnetite, and this microwave furnace we are able to produce around 96% magnetite at the 600-degree temperature. So of course this reductant we have used carbon monoxide as well as hydrogen as well. Since in lab carbon monoxide is difficult to utilize due to the challenges of its poison because it's a health hazard. So once we converted this into magnetite, then we use induced role magnetic separator, and there we are able to get around 62% iron ore concentrate with 62% of iron. So uniqueness of this process, again, this is a dry process which we have developed. In the first stage, we converted goethite into magnetite, and then this hydrogen-based reduction roasting we have tried. And this process, if we are able to convert into commercial level, definitely will not require any water for beneficiation. And we are able to convert around 48 to 62, 48 grade of ore to 62% iron ore concentrate containing 62% of Fe total with 80% recovery. So, so now I just come to the final stage, that what is the challenges that we have right now once we are talking about the utilization of low and lean grade ore. So definitely each ore need to be treated uniquely because it has a unique characteristics, and we need to develop a tailor-made beneficiation process based on the mineral characteristic of each and every lean and low grade ore. So definitely we need to have a huge good research facility in country. And then second place is that once we talk about the utilization of iron ore, which is having 45 and above iron, so definitely once we beneficiate to 64, the tail generation will be huge. So we need to develop technology wherein we can utilize these tails in proper manner. And then this is a unique process, unique challenges we have, like mineral processing equipment are not being manufactured in India. Mostly it is imported. So definitely some that we need to take up this also separately. And transportation is a bottleneck whenever we beneficiate. So once we crush it to minus 100 mesh, then it need to be transported to the pellet plant, or pellet plant need to be constructed near to the beneficiation plant. So this transportation bottleneck is also there. It requires huge amount of investment in infrastructure. And then finally, the once we beneficiate, invariably we need to cross it to the minus 100 mesh, which cannot be used in the sintering or any other iron making process without pelletization. So definitely pellet plant has to be think in line with beneficiation plant. So a huge investment will be required for setting up of a beneficiation along with a pelletization plant. So this is from my side. Thank you. Thank you, Monica. That's it.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we will start the question and answer. I request you to please stop sharing the screen. And I will first ask question from Shri Abhijit Narendran. Sir, we would like to know why beneficiation is required in India. What is the main basic need, sir?
Well, thank you,
Please
Monica.
unmute yourself. Yeah.
I must compliment, first of all, choosing this topic, because this is what is it is need for the time. And as in the presentation, it was already stated that we have abundance of iron ore, but gradually we are having enough of lean iron ore, and the resource which is available with us need to be utilized also. And we have been seeing the quantum is of less than 58. That is what is the low grade iron ore we call, is gradually building, because the beneficiation, because that cannot just like that be used by steel plants unless it is beneficiated. The whole process is to raise the level of iron content in the ore, and that is the process. So for using it for purposely, we need to beneficiate. That is the prime objective. It has challenge, because that is why we see the quantum of lean iron ore getting increased every year, because it is the challenges actually somehow create impediment towards the use of towards the process of beneficiation and use of iron ore in the steel plant. So it is certainly it is need for the time, and it is to be used for steel plant, and that for that beneficiation is required.
Abhijit, sir, sorry to interrupt, but I think your camera is not moving, as in it's frozen. Is it visible to me in that way, to me only, or to other people also? Your screen is
Others can only
frozen. Your screen is frozen, sir.
Were you hearing my voice or not?
We are able to hear your voice, just your image is not moving. So
I'll
I'll
join
take
it
up the
again.
next question. Meanwhile, आप थोड़ा सा check करवा लीजिए sir video settings अपना. I'll
Yeah.
take up the next question to uh, just give me a moment. To Mr. Pankaj Satija. Pankaj sir, good morning. And I'd like to ask you our first question of the day to you on the from the environment aspect. How does iron ore beneficiation impact local ecosystem and biodiversity, sir? And what measures can be taken to minimize these environmental effects, sir?
Yeah, so let me begin with the famous story of Esophagus. And this story is about a frog and centipede. The centipede was once upon a time walking in the morning, and the frog came in front of him and asked him that, how come you are walking on 100? He was very intrigued that you have 100 legs, which leg you move first, which leg you move second. And centipede told that I have never thought that how I'm working, but this is the way I'm doing. This is the way my brothers, sisters, my sisters have been doing. And the frog told that, no, I have to take a lot of pain. I have to put pressure on two hind legs, and then I have to move forward. But you managing with 100 legs is very difficult and different. And then centipede tried to count how he's moving. So he started making one step, then the second step. And the story says that his legs get tangled and he couldn't move. So there are many takeaways from this story, but two of the takeaways which I would like to place here for iron ore or for mine tailings. So mine tailing is not new. I mean, the first tailing dam were built in Japan and France in 1800. And the United States invested in mining versus storage when the tailing dam was built in Arizona in 1881. And during 1970s and 1980s, 78 people were built in Brazil, Peru, Bolivia, and other South American countries. Now, before 1970s, only 10 were built on the parent, but over 320 dams have been opened in the last 10 years. And based on the available data, 89 companies with over 60 countries, there are more than 1,700 dams holding mining waste all over the world, out of which 687 are classified as high risk. And in terms of country, Australia has the highest number of tailing dams, 291 in Canada, and India is having only 19 dams, which is the report of 2020. Why it has got prominence? Because of failure in Mount Pearly in 2014, Samarco in 2015, Brumadinho in 2019, and Jagersfontein in South Africa in 2022. So this is the international story. In India also, the Indian Bureau of Mines has come out with tailing dam design much before in 1995 December. And in the IBM manual for appraisal of mining plan in 2014 also, tailing dam management was discussed, and final mine closure plan always discuss about this. Ministry of Mines, Ministry of Law and Justice has issued Dam Safety Act in 2021. So mining and tailing storage is not new. And someone like Pentipede has disturbed the basics of how the mining has to be done. The foremost thing what I see is the reduction in the leach area. If you don't have sufficient area for mining and storage of tailings, then there are issues related with environment, there are issues related with safety, there are issues related with water pollution. So the first thing which I would like to say is the basics which Centipede was following should be there. And mining leases should not be curtailed, or the optimal size of mining lease should be there so that LAC should have enough space for mining, enough space for putting the beneficiation plant, enough space for holding the tailings. What has been done in the recent past that the lease sizes are very small. Sometimes the lessee has to look the area outside the lease area for beneficiation plant and outside the lease area for tailing dams management. And we all are aware that in India, the forest land, mining land, I mean, the area rich in mineral, area rich in water, area low in HDI, they overlap. And these are the areas which are also mostly in the tribal area. Getting land is difficult. So first of all, if you ask me, the issues which you have been prominently we are facing or any mining company is facing is the space in the mine where they can have sufficient space for uh, putting up the right beneficiation plant, right tailing storage, and then the water recycling facilities. Apart from that, you asked about the biodiversity, it's again the fragmentation of area. So if the area is intact and the fragmentation of the area is avoided right from the mine to the plant, it helps the biodiversity. And the foremost thing which any company should do first, this is assess the baseline of the biodiversity in that area, and then they can think of the remediation measure, how they can improve the biodiversity depending upon the baseline study where they can take many projects, right from eradication of invasive species to plantation of native species to make habitat which are amenable and conducive for the natural fauna and flora. So these are my permission for improving the environment and the biodiversity for any beneficial plant or any plant. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pankaj sir. Like in your own style, you have explained and answered it very well. Audience, I like to suggest that when you are asking any question, instead of typing in the chat box, there is a option of Q&A visible on your screen. I suggest you mention your questions there. And panelists, please confirm me, is this Q&A visible on your screens as well? This option is visible to you. So if you
Yes,
click on those, you will find that there are many people who are raising questions, which we will take up in a while. Meanwhile, I'm launching one poll for everyone to please answer it very, very quickly before I go to Dr. Sunil Duggal. So the question is, how familiar are you with concept of iron ore beneficiation? See, this is one of the very, very basic things. First, I'd like to understand from our audience as well. How familiar are you with the concept of iron ore beneficiation? We have got three options: very familiar, somewhat familiar, not familiar at all. So please vote very quickly. Meanwhile, I'll raise question from Dr. Sunil Duggal now, and in between, please keep on voting to this question. So coming back to Dr. Sunil Duggal, first of all, sir, we are very happy that I think yeah, this is the first time you have joined to any of Metalogic's program, and I like to heartfully welcome you to our program. Thank you so much for your time. So my first question to you is, what are the key elements of an effective iron ore beneficiation strategy for India, considering factors such as resource availability, technological capabilities, and market demand, sir? Over to you. Please unmute.
So thank you, Monica, for inviting me, and happy to be here amongst you guys to deliberate on this very important topic. I mean, the deliberation on this topic has been going on for quite a number of years now. And as we know, not only iron ore, in any mineral, the grades are becoming poorer, lower, and the mines are becoming deeper. So the challenge over the time that how shall we conserve the resources and how shall we be able to retain our production capacity going forward, as the capacity in many geographies, including India, I mean, we are talking about going to 500 million ton and beyond, with the economy size going up. So this challenge will remain. And from that point of view, the government is also mindful now. And government has been consulting the industry, the regulators, and experts that what could be done to enable and help the industry where they are able to use the lower grade iron ore. And in the presentation, it was also said that it is also responsible, the lower grade also is responsible for creating the higher footprint, CO2 footprint. So the challenge is manifold. There are safety challenges, there are environment challenges, and there are regulatory challenges. So there are challenges all around. Like you see, the mine sizes are average around 100 hectares. And even the existing mines are facing the challenge of doing the dumping inside the mine leases. They want to take the approval from the regulators to dump the overburden outside. So what to talk of dumping the tailing. And we also know that there are safety issues which we have faced. There are big dam failures which have taken place. There are multiple fatalities which have taken place. The tailing dam has its own challenges of creating a subsoil water issues, contamination of water. The land may also become marshy as the the tailing dam size increases. And there are challenges around the economic viability, because there are different type of mines in India. There are premiums which have been offered by the project proponents of the varying percentage. I did some analysis where it says that if you were to locate the beneficiation plant, say at a distance of 80 to 100 kilometers, and if you have to evacuate the iron ore, low-grade iron ore, and beneficiate by 3 to 5%, the only one case it becomes viable, that is, if you beneficiate the iron ore through the allotted mine and inside the mining lease. So these challenges have been shared with the regulator. I wish that they go into the economics and the other environment, land, and practical challenges of the industry, and sitting on the same same side of the table, are able to resolve the issues which actually motivates the industry to go for beneficiation. That is the only way from my viewpoint. I mean, somebody has also talked about the resources. So resources are also defined at a cutoff grade. If we want the beneficiation should be encouraged and the economics can improve, probably the total reserves in India from the existing mines can also go up, because the cutoff grade is defined based on the economic viability of that grade. So these are some of the initial thoughts I have, Monica, and I would be able to answer any subsequent questions going forward.
Right, sir.
You'll ask. Thank you very much.
Sir. Thank you so much, sir. And ND Rao, sir, you have joined us. Request you to kindly unmute. You have faced a lot of difficulties today to join the program. If we can unmute, sir.
Yeah, I did it.
Okay, that's great. So I'd like to ask you the first question. What are the key economic considerations and investment criteria for evaluating the viability of iron ore beneficiation projects? And how do these factors impact project feasibility and profitability, sir?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you properly. There was some disruption.
Okay,
So
I'm repeating it again, sir. I'm repeating it again. What are the key economic considerations and investment criteria for evaluating the viability of iron ore beneficiation projects? And how do these factors impact, sir, project feasibility and profitability?
Yes, you have asked, I think, the best of the best questions so far, what I feel, even though I have missed the previous speakers.
Yes, sir.
Our iron ore, God has blessed us, India, good iron ore, but he has left a lot of jobs for the professionals to do and the government also to do a lot of policy making on this. Coming back to this, I will take you back to POSCO story. In 2004, 2005, when POSCO wanted to set up a steel plant here in Odisha, And why they have said that? They want to swap Indian iron ore with Brazilian iron ore. Why I am bringing up this issue of unresolved issue? There is a lot of messages for us from the policymakers to the investors. Number one is the mineralogy of Indian iron ore is totally different from the rest of the world. In the sense, you know how many types of iron ore is available in India? According to my understanding, it is around 14 types of iron minerals are there. One is hematite, but the mineralogy of this hematite is totally different. Why we get the hematite, which is theoretically, it is Fu2O3, supposed to have 69.5% Fe in that. But why we get 58%, 50%, 48%? Because this is associated with several other iron minerals, which are called goethite, limonite, laterite, siderite, and there are other BHQ, BHJ, and various other minerals are there. So the best of the world's best iron ore deposit is with Government of India, that is NMDC, Baladela, which has got the best of the best iron ore hematite in the world, which has got up to 67% Fe in the iron ore directly when you mine it. If you go into the other parts of like Jharkhand and Odisha and Karnataka, Goa, rest of the India, why it varies significantly? Because the associated minerals, the mineralogy is different here. That's why it has got very rich alumina. So that's why POSCO wanted to swap it. Alumina is poison in steel making, and the sinter does not give a good strength, for which the slag rate in the blast furnace goes up to almost 500 kgs per ton of hot metal if the alumina is not reduced, and if you go only with sinter. So that's the problem. Why, like you go back to Tata Steel, why Tata Steel has started the first wet processing iron ore plant in India, 1956. Correct me, Mr. Pankaj, if I am right, if I am wrong.
No, yeah, okay, sir.
Yeah, this is long-range process. Why Tata Steel has gone for, after doing extensive test work globally, they have gone. Because the associated minerals present in our iron ore is different from the rest of the world. That's why it makes it very complex, even not only for beneficiation, in the steel making process also. So the process right now is, it is not economically viable. Let me put it upfront. And when I was part of the Pellet Manufacturers Association of India, I made few presentations in the Ministry of Mines and the Ministry of Steel. Even before auctions also, you see, India has today 144 million tons of iron ore capacity of iron ore beneficiation plants are there. But most of them are not doing beneficiation. They are just, they are not utilizing. And the main reason for that is, it is economically not viable. If you say make a 62, 63 grade concentrate out of this low grade ores of 58 and below, then the cost of the concentrate is higher than the cost of high grade iron ore itself. It does not make a business sense. That's why most of the plants are idle. And we made a representation to the government that incentivization with respect to the that iron ore, the royalty structure, the tax structure has to be looked into that. So unless that is done, it is not economically viable, and it's not worth investing in iron ore beneficiation of low grade ores as of now. I am very clear on this. I have given several representations to Government of India since 1914.
Right, sir. So we are
2014.
getting right, sir. We're getting a lot of questions, especially on the PPT of Dr. Vibhuti Roshan. There are many users who have joined us on YouTube and on the Teams. They have started posting me. I'll take one or two questions and then again I'll come back to you. So this question is for Vibhuti ji from Mr. Glenn from Goa Mineral Ore Exporters Association. He would like to know. Uh, that first of all, he's appreciating that NMDC 48% FE has been upgraded to 62% with only 20% loss. So recovery is about 80%, as you have mentioned. So he want to know, does the FEO content relevant for such upgradation? Also, generally, in our experience, if low FEO content and hematitic ores, the enrichment is not much, perhaps 3 to max 4% increase in FE with over 30% loss. Can you comment on this, Vibhuti ji, or anybody else also, if you like to add any comments?
In our case, actually, we converted 96% magnetite. So goethite is actually not responding to magnetic separation. So we converted into magnetite, and then we use low intensity magnetic separator to separate that magnetite from the other impurities. So here actually in iron ore, FU content whatever is there, but we converted completely to magnetite, and then we employed actually magnetic separation in our particular case.
Right. Now there is an open question from Mr. Raju. He's asking what will be the energy requirement and cost approximately to beneficiate per ton of ore to upgrade from 40% Fe to 63% Fe. Anyone can answer. This is an open question.
So this varies with a lot of factors. There is no straightaway answer to this. What is the hardness of the ore? Because more than 50% of the energy consumption in a beneficiation plant is in grinding, size reduction. In grinding, what is the liberation size? What micron size? Is it 200 microns or 50 microns or 25 microns? It depends on that only. Then only what is the hardness of the ore? The hardness is bond work index is 23 or 20 or 18 or 15 or 12 or 10 or 8. It depends on the bond work index and the liberation size.
So, Dr. Raju, you need to explain your question in a much better way so that our panelists can answer. Like Mr. Andy Rao has said, that it depends on many factors. I'm taking up one more question of Mr. Philip. He's asking, what is the most common strategy for tailing disposal? Are there any current plants processing for secondary uses of tailing within India? Do states and access to the coast use deep sea tailing disposal techniques? Has it been looked at in the past, or is it banned? Anyone can answer. It's an open question.
Yeah, there are different technologies are coming up, and it depends on what is your tailing grade and whether it can be recovered further with the upcoming future technologies. Like you see, SR Steel has entered into an agreement with NMDC, and they were buying the tailings and they were beneficiating. Then they're enriching up to 65%. Then they were making high quality pellets, and that was a very successful business model. It depends on that, and there are no straightaway answers to that. And there are other methods, tailing disposal. It is difficult to get an area for storage in a dam, construction of a dam and all the things. The paste thickening has come, where you can improve the percentage of solids of the slurry to be dispatched, and also filtration has come, and it can be stockpiled. And another R&D is being done at IMMT Bhubaneswar, that these tailings can be converted into briquettes and can be used in landfills. And there are several waste to wealth technology improvements are coming up.
Right. So anybody else like to add in, or shall I move on to? Yes, Dr. Sunil Dugal.
Yeah, so Hindustan Zinc has converted the wet tailing dams into dry tailing dams. So the percentage of the water usage, the stability of the dam, and the land footprint has become much lesser now. So we have converted at one of the locations few years back. We copied it from Peru. We saw that in Peru, getting it done in Peru maybe 10, 12 years back. And then we have converted a couple of locations. We are converting all the locations. If anybody has interest, we can arrange the visit and they can see for themselves that how and what are the enablers for that and how this could be possible. We are ready to help them.
Hindustan Zinc, sir, had done it in 1980s, 82, 83. I was at Jawar Mines. We were doing that in Hindustan Zinc. The tailings. You can go over on a jeep over the tailing dam. And a lot of plantation and all the things were done in 1983, 84, 85.
So, Dr. Rao, now we are converting all the wet tailing dams into the dry tailing dams.
Right. I
To
said that.
filtration, yeah.
It was dry. It was made, and a lot of these things have happened. Plantation
Right.
too.
So,
I
yeah.
just
Yeah.
like to echo views of Mr. Rao and Mr. Dubey. So one alternate can be a aggregate model of tailing business where a person or any entrepreneur or any company can buy low grade from different mines at one place, and government can auction two mines where there are very remnant materials left. And the auction philosophy of that mine should not be on the premium, but it should be on how the mine is going to be reclaimed or rehabilitated. Because the fundamental issue in tailings is how to dispose the tailings. And most of the mining areas, as I mentioned earlier, they are in the area which are entered by the tribal population, and getting land on those places are difficult. So if that aggregator model can be adopted by the government, and some mines which have remnant materials can be auctioned with these premises, probably this will make a very viable proposition for utilization of low-grade ore which are lying at pithead, and further journey of value addition from low-grade ore or from the tailings can be expedited.
Right, sir. I want to go back to Mr. Abhijit Narendra. Sir, you're still there. Request you to please turn on your camera and mic. Abhijit, sir. Yes, sir. So you need to unmute, sir.
Okay. Or there's
Sir.
some lag. There's some lag
No
in it.
problem.
But,
You keep your mic unmuted. I'll ask you one question. What are the challenges and issues that beneficiation is not picking up, sir?
that is what all these speakers, they have very brilliantly they have placed it.
Yes.
The challenges are like, first of all, is the cost. Cost includes, it has a various components. The cost is that capex of setting up a beneficiation plant, the operational expenditure of that. Transportation cost, if the beneficiation plant is located outside the mining area. Then the challenges related to availability of land for setting up, land for having a tailing area defined. If it is inside the mining area and if it is of the forest area covered, then the clearances to be obtained, forest clearances, that is there. The water availability, that is also a big challenge if we are going to adopt wet beneficiation and otherwise also to some extent. And then disposal of tailing, that is another which has been very brilliantly put forward by different speakers. So these are the challenges, if I summarized the way it is, they are there which need to be addressed appropriate. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, Pankaj, sir, I like to ask you, though we are covering many things and we will in between keep on taking audience Q&As. But the question, I want you to, explain us in little depth that what are the primary environmental concerns associated with iron ore beneficiation processes such as water and air pollution, and also what kind of technology advancements are being made to address these challenges, sir?
So that already been covered by Rao Saab in view of waste disposal. But then again, it's like not one size fits all. So in one of the mine in Northern Cape in South Africa, which is having a water scarce area, they went for waste disposal first time. And after some time in the rainy season, when it got dried up, there were issues related with the air pollution. So it's like how you have to handle all those points. That always remains one area where we can always work on. So the tailings disposal side, the design, where are you going to make the tailing dam, the upstream and the downstream pathways, and then how the habitats are closer or far away from that area, and what are the safeguard mechanisms you are putting up in that. So the hazards which have been discussed earlier is again, which we have seen in the different failures of slime dam in the recent past, is mostly disruption of ecosystem. If the habitat is closer, then it's again a risk of lives. Contamination, if you're going for chemical contamination, if you're going for flotation and everything, and then an impact on biodiversity, invasive species, which they can come with the different machineries, and indirect impact on roads, railways, and ports. So there are many different cumulative impacts also related to ecosystem and high level of mining activity, and if the companies are not going for conservation measures. Air quality and water management has already spoken about. Then we need to think of how we can go for cleaner technology. So there are many aspects related to environmental issues related to iron ore tailings and any beneficiation technology and related tailing disposal and how we are making it. So Kudramukh also has a very good tailing dam, which was very popular at that point of time, Lakya Dam. Probably it was made by JP and then it was one of its kind. But then there are issues related with water pollution in that area also. So it's again not only making it from the design aspect, but also how you are monitoring and what are the assurance system you have in the mine for taking care of the environmental issues. So recently there has been a lot of help from AI and IoT on that aspect also to get some alert if there are certain movement in the prism or any IoT devices, any leakage from that area. But yes, the recent incidents from 2014 onwards has given a lot of learnings, and many standards have also come out how to take care of that. GI stream is one such which was promoted by ICL. So it's my point here is that we need not be resting on what once we have made the tailing dam and be assured that it will take care of its own. There has to be proper monitoring of those tailing dams, and third-party assurance also should be brought into it.
Right, sir. So we are getting some questions on YouTube as well. Dr. Subhash Chandra Malik is asking where VTM concentrate with Fe 65%, V205 to 2%, TiO2, TiO 2.5% can be used on per ton basis. As in, this is an open question again, so anyone can answer.
Yeah, there are titanium and vanadium. Those deposits have been discovered a long time ago, but they are not in use in steel making. And first they have to recover the titanium and vanadium from that. And after that only that can be used in steel making. That's why when Tata Steel has started 100 years ago, that's why these are the main reasons, the titanium and vanadium. And those are the things in steel making process have issues. So they have stopped using those resources because of that.
Okay. Coming back to Sunil Duggal, sir, I would like to ask, how can India leverage its vast iron ore reserve, sir, and beneficiation potential to enhance domestic steel production, reduce dependency on imports, and strengthen its position in the global market, sir?
Well, this is very obvious. I said earlier also. I mean, there are resources which are defined depending on the cut-off grade. If the technology and the economic feasibility of usage of the lower and lower grade could come, the total number of resources in India can increase. So the regulators, government, technology, R&D, global benchmarking has to be used to produce the case studies where we have to prove that the lower and lower grade of iron ore we can use. But the way the capacity of steel and requirement of steel and the growth projection and the wish of the country to reach the third largest economy in the world, the requirement of the iron and steel will be the primary and basic fundamental for growth and realization of our dream to reach to that level of the economy. So the regulators, industry, R&D, they have to come together around the table, find out the feasibility of this, that how this could be done. I would also suggest that maybe after this conference, we should send our recommendation to the new government that what could be the 100 days agenda for them. The government is inviting the suggestions from the industry and the industry bodies that what are their ideas, what do they want government to do. So some of the recommendation through today's discussion would also be sent to the Prime Minister's office that these are our recommendations to have and take on table first 100 days agenda. And if you are able to do that, probably you'll be able to put your economy on a fast track.
Certainly, sir. We will definitely do that. And let me inform all the viewers that this webinar is extremely important in a way that right now the industry is at a transformative phase right now. And after the webinar, we are hosting a physical conference in Visakhapatnam on 21st of June on iron ore. It's the International Iron Ore Conference at Visakhapatnam. Do attend that on 21st of June. I'm taking up one question from Mr. Krishna Murthy. It's an open question. How to increase the yield by utilizing the 20 microns when the Fe content is the same, is on higher side? What is the methodology shall be adapted in such a case?
I would like to know, it is the name of the mineral, because there are some 18 Fe minerals are there. Which mineral is that?
So he has just written how to increase the yield by utilizing the more than 20 microns from the Fe content. Is the same?
It is 20. When the particle size is such a small,
Yes.
Separation efficiencies reduces. And there are one magnetic separators called longi. They normally recover up to 10 microns. Those type of technologies have come up, and if it has got good magnetic intensity, that susceptibility is there, then that can be used.
Almost similar question has been asked, and anonymous he has named. So he's asking, what process do you suggest to handle below 45 microns? Is it the same process you just suggested?
Yes, first thing is the mineralogy has to be understood. Suppose that it is, I'll give you a few case studies. It's very important. And once there was a good jigging has come for coal beneficiation, and some companies have purchased the jigs, and they are not successful for Indian coal. They were good for certain other countries, like another equipment called Jameson cell in coal beneficiation flotation has come, that was highly successful in Australia, but when we have used it in India, it's totally failed. And because the mineralogy of the ore is different in different geographies of the globe, and that has to be understood, what are the associated minerals in that. They influence a lot into the particle dynamics and the surface properties of the particle. That is the main philosophy and the theory how mineral separations takes place. Mineral beneficiation is liberation and separation. There are only 2 steps, but it is a big volume by itself with respect to the subject.
All right.
Sorry.
Please go ahead.
Pankaj, sir, you were saying.
Rao was saying something. So first you complete, sir, then I just wanted to add your point.
All right. We have another question from sir.
What I was I'm just corroborating point of Rasa. So in Goa also, the one company had a magnetic separator which worked out for them. And there was other company almost less than 14 kilometers distance where the magnetic separator didn't work out. And the learning was that how you are drawing the samples. So many a times when we do mineralogical studies, the sample collection becomes very, very important to understand how the iron ore is embedded with different other minerals and how alumina letters are there. So as Virasa was mentioning about the different varieties of iron ore, so what Goan ore is amenable to beneficiation, probably ore from Eastern India needs a different treatment for that. So for that particular region also, the threshold value for Goan ore, iron ore are different than in general pan-India approach. So mineralogical studies become far more important to derive what techniques we are going to deploy.
Right, sir. So Vivek Nath ji from Odisha Mining Corporation is also asking one question to Mr. Vibhuti Roshan. What is the sample size for the dry beneficiation test by NMDC Limited?
Actually, we have tried at lab scale, which is around 500 gram, and then we have demonstrated the same technology at 5 kg per hour batches. So right now it is under development stage. Initially, we did at 500 grams, and then now we have a pilot scale facility, which is wherein we can produce around 5 kg per hour.
Right. Rao sir, one question I want to ask you as far as carbon emissions are concerned, how iron ore beneficiation will help to reduce carbon emission in iron and steel manufacturing, sir?
Yes, iron ore beneficiation can improve significantly carbon reduction in the steel manufacturing process, because when we beneficiate, the aluminum content will go down and also the Fe content will go up. Then what happens when the alumina goes down? Then whether you do sintering process or pelletization process, that reduces the slag rate in the blast furnace, and is a lot of reduction in the carbon emissions there. And also when the grade is increased, suppose you are feeding to the furnace, say 61, 60, 62, when you beneficiate, you can take it to 63, 64, 65, then proportionately it reduces that. There is a significant reduction, it happens. The other important aspect of beneficiation where it can reduce substantially the carbon emissions is you can transport the iron ore through slurry pipelines, where compared to the surface transportation, through slurry pipelines you transport hundreds of kilometers. It reduces 92% carbon emission reduction as per the US EPA norms standards, and the energy conservation is 98% comparing to surface transportation by road. If it is by rake, it is 82% reduction in carbon emissions comparing to comparing to rail transportation. There is a significant contribution through beneficiation, it happens. That is the way we have given all these suggestions to Ministry of Mines and Ministry of Steel. I myself have presented several times. And that's where the main question comes. India has got 144 million.
Economics of setting up a plant and converting it and beneficiating it. I would like to go back to Abhijit Narendra sir. Abhijit sir, my very sincere question to you, which everybody would like to know, that what initiative government is taking to encourage beneficiation, sir? Abhijit sir? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, Monica, it's lagging actually. So, recently, a committee has been constituted, the leadership, chairmanship of Additional Secretary, Ministry of Mines, where I am also a member of that committee representing Ministry of Steel, and another joint secretary for Ministry of Environment and Forest. And we are, the committee is actually in the process of consultation with stakeholders like industry, miners, state governments also, to appreciate it that what needs to be placed as an incentive, as well as thinking about kind of defining some kind of responsibility also to the miners for beneficiation. And so the various suggestions are coming. We are still in the process. And accordingly, we are I think shortly we'll be able to recommend certain incentives so that this beneficiation process takes off. That is what it is happening. Yeah. And in one more thing, I just wanted to say that as far as the technology development is concerned, since NFDC is one CPSE pertaining to Ministry of Steel, they, along with Steel Authority, right, it is in the conceptual stage, they are developing some kind of research center or center of excellence for beneficiation, where the best available technology they are working on it. It is again in the conceptual level, so that that can be the best available technology can be developed for beneficiation. Looking at the iron ore, lean iron ore present in the country.
Right, sir. We have got one question from Mr. Subratkar from Super Smelter, Kolkata. He want to know, is there any technology for beneficiation of BHQ and BHJ, as both are plenty available in Eastern India, and as IBM has considered all such material in reserve calculations? It's an open question.
Actually, NMDC has already developed a technology, and a part of that, JSW also have put up a pilot scale facility for beneficiation of BHJ and BHQ. In NMDC, actually, we are using a unique process wherein only gravity separation method we have used. Three-stage gravity separation method we have used. As Andy Rao sir has mentioned earlier, that the major cost is grinding cost because it's a hard ore. And we need to know the liberation size, what liberation size is required. To that level, we need to grind it. In our case, 100 ms was the liberation size. So definitely technologies are available. And that only thing is that once we put 1 ton of BHJ, we are able to get hardly 300, 400 kg of concentrate. So remaining 600 will be tailing. So as that line Pankaj sir, that tailing management become very, very vital nowadays. And a part of that, we need to develop a technology wherein we can utilize this tail in proper manner, in commercial manner.
So if I can come, Monica, here, probably this needs a detailed, holistic view from the mining perspective. So I'm coming back to first of your question that what is the greenhouse gas emissions? And so there was a study carried out in Australia for the mining ore, and they used life cycle assessment using SimaPro life cycle assessment software. And the estimated greenhouse gas emission were 11.9 kg CO2 for mining and processing per 1 ton of ore. And also I've explained how we can further reduce it. The second point of beneficiation incentives. So this is not new. In Australia, there are incentives mechanism where the royalty for the beneficiated ore is much lower. So we can also try how we can incentivize maybe some funding for technology and others. The BHJ and BHQ draws are explained earlier. There are different types of iron ore, and if you see in eastern part also, probably the mines of Kiriburu and Megathaburu, the BHJ BHQ also comes in a weathered form, and that is more amenable to washing. So I would say it's not like one size fits all. The larger point is usually in the iron ore mine, when you start from the top, the iron ore stands out because of the hard nature of its bedding it has gone through and has seen the million of years. So usually you get high grade ore. And then when you start doing the mining, iron ore grade changes from the blue dust to the lower grade ore. And by the time you come to the pit bottom, your lease life is over 40 years. Then for 10 years, it doesn't make economic sense to put that much of investment. So tenure of the lease, size of the lease, and then the incentives will definitely pave path forward for iron ore beneficiation in the long run.
Right, sir. So, meanwhile, I come back to the next question. Audience, I have raised one poll. You can see on your window. How likely are you to implement or advocate for green iron ore beneficiation practices in your company? So, as we are continuing Q&As, you may please vote. Very simple options, very likely, somewhat likely, not likely at all. We would like to understand how likely are you going to implement or advocate for green iron ore beneficiation practices in your company? So moving next, Pankaj, I'd like to continue one more question with you. Can you discuss the carbon footprint of iron ore beneficiation and its contribution to greenhouse gas emission, and what strategies or innovations are being implemented to reduce the environmental impact and promote sustainable practices in this regard, sir?
So as I mentioned about the Australian study that they did some study with Sanofi life cycle assessment and greenhouse gas emissions were 11.9. So now the greening part, the first and foremost is what the energy efficient machines you are using. So Government of India has also come out with PAT cycle, perform achieve and trade, Bureau of Energy Efficiency is setting that. So then we can see that how our plant machineries are energy efficient. Government has also come out with in 2022 the Bureau of Water Use Efficiency. So that may also come to its prominence in the coming years. Water is an important area. How you are recycling the water for the greener beneficiation, because water is one such point where you are using for beneficiation and then it is stored in tailing dams and then how you are recycling it. So that is also one part of greening beneficiation technology. And apart from the energy efficiency and water efficiency, we also have to see that where the sourcing of energy is being done. So that is also one area, and today that's not a challenge. Most of the plants are going for renewables, and I can say from the ferroalloys perspective, there are plants where we can use the renewable energy sources. So options are many, and then for the improving the energy efficiency and water efficiency, you can use machine learning and AI also. And there are different AI algorithms which are being used in mineral processing also, like CNN, convolutional neural networks, SVM, support vector machine, LSTM, long short-term memory. So we can take help of technology improving our water.
So are we using those in Tata Steel, sir?
And it is being used in other part of it, but yes, energy efficiency and water efficiency are part of the things which we are using in our mine and the plant as well. We have a partner with startups which are helping us with IoT-based smart water management systems, and we are seeing the water recovery and water resources utilization. So options are many, and we are using it. In the plant, Tata Steel plant, we have used connected workforce, connected processes, connected people, and IoT is being used very extensively on that.
Right, sir. So going back to Dr. Sunil.
Can't hear you, Monica.
I think, Pankajji, the water recovery in an iron ore beneficiation system, any beneficiation for that matter, it is lead, zinc, copper, anything. So around 85 to 88% of water is recovered, recycled, and reused. Only the losses of, say, around 12% is only with respect to the evaporation losses while you store it. And also most of the water is recycled from the tailing dams also, or tailing filtration. And whatever is there, around 10-12% is the moisture with the product and as well as in the tailings. The rest all are recovered, recycled.
Yeah, so that is from the tailing part of it, but in the process also there are various measures where you can see that water is not in the leakage part. And
in the process water.
Yeah, so that also
requirement is around 15 to 18% only overall for a beneficiation plant, whether the lead, zinc, copper, any mineral beneficiation.
So,
water, but through recycle.
Yes, sir. So as we were discussing earlier, sir, mainly it's the design of tailing dams, the location where you are going to put that, because sometimes there are chances that the water will go down and will be recovered somewhere else, and you will not be able to recover water from tailing dam. And very long back, sir, in I think in 90s itself, Rio Tinto has put some hexagonal shaped solar module on all the tailing dams to draw water from this, because all the water recovery pumps were used by this solar power, and then they try to reduce the evaporation loss also. So this also. Yeah.
The best country to learn from recovery of water from tailings is South Africa.
Yeah,
I have several mines, and the way in which they are recovering at the tailing storage itself is they put a lot of hydrocyclones there, and they take only almost 90 plus 95%, 90% solids only in the storage. Rest all they recover and send it back. South Africa, because of water crisis, they have been practicing it for the several decades successfully in South Africa.
Yes, because Northern Cape, they have Sishen and Kumba, both the mines are there, Asfang, and this area is water scarce. Yes, sir.
Kumba, they have very good practices. I have seen that.
Yes, sir.
Sunil, sorry, I got a little problem in between, but could you hear my question, or shall I repeat it again? Okay, so I'm coming back to you. Sunil, sir, my question to you is, what role do policy framework, regulatory incentive, and public-private partnership play in facilitating the development and implementation of iron ore beneficiation strategies in India? And what are the key challenges and opportunities in this regard, sir?
So thank you, Monica. The first and foremost fundamental is that many of the mines now which are operating are through the auction route, and the premiums are 90%, 100% premium. If we go to the calculation sheet, it says that it can never ever become viable for them to beneficiate the iron ore the way the premiums are levied, the way the royalty on royalty is levied, the way the royalty is levied. So the question is that going forward, even in Tata Steel, some of the leases are going to expire in 2030. And they may have to take it back through the auction route again. Of course, the first right of refusal also lies with them, but I'm expecting that the premium could go very high. So The question is that what is the future? If the premiums are charged like this, and it is a disincentive for anybody to beneficiate and keep dumping the low grade iron ore in the mines, what is the holistic solution? Uh, Probably this may not have been thought through even by the project proponent when they were bidding, and the government also might not have thought about it. So this is a very fundamental question. Of course, the benchmarking of the technology, our own R&D center, depending on which type of mineralogy we have, and how the technology could be established, where the recovery could be optimized, how the tailing dams, the land issues, the government will have to, help us to resolve. As I said, that the leases are very small. It's very difficult to store the tailing. It's very difficult to put up the beneficiation plant. So government will have to modify the regulation where they will have to, enable and allow the mine owners to put up the beneficiation plant outside, allot them the land. These days, the land issue is also very big, because if you have to procure the land, it can take the endless time. If the government land could be allocated, and the complete footprint of India could be thought of, and where they can think of that what grade of resources are lying in which mine, and how this could be beneficiated. So they can help the industry to allot the land. There are also areas where the small mines are there. It is very difficult for people to put up the beneficiation plant, and go through so many of the regulatory challenges, and the even the capital. So aggregate. Somebody suggested the aggregation of the mines there, where they all can aggregate and put up a common beneficiation plant. So we'll have to list what are the impediments, what are the issues, how these issues will have to be resolved. Probably a digitized the land bank and the other economic calculation the government and the regulator should do, and find out that how and where it could be optimized, and what are the ways through which the low grade iron ore could be beneficiated. So the answer we may not be able to find it here, but as the committee has been set up by the government, I really feel that through the consultation process, they'll be very receptive. Sometimes it may also happen that they are consulting the state government. Sometimes the state government are, very selfish, that my revenues will go away. The revenues will go away. It will go away when the revenue will come. So they do sometimes the hypothetical calculation that they will lose the revenue if they will modify the regulation. So in a holistic manner, if the solutions could be found, I think this industry and the beneficiation could become successful going forward. Otherwise, this is a challenge in hand, and this is an opportunity also in hand going forward, that how we have to resolve this issue. And I really wish that all the stakeholders, without being selfish, be it industry, regulator, civil society, or anybody, are able to find out the solution where we are able to enable the industry to allow them to beneficiate the iron ore.
Right, sir. And I can see in our attendee list, KIOCL chairman is also there. I am trying to change his role to presenter so that we can have some words from him. Meanwhile, till he is trying to connect with us, I'll take one last question, and then we will try to reach Mr. Saminathan again. This question is from Janki Corporation Limited. They want to know about how can we utilize or manage the tailing from iron ore beneficiation. I think this has been answered earlier by Mr. Andy Rao. So, Basanji, you can go to the YouTube recording and check again. And meanwhile, one question I've received from Mr. Debashish Mohapatra of Jindal Stainless Limited. How can you see the impact of CBAM of the pellet export to European unions? So this is again an open question. Anyone can answer to this. CBAM impact.
Yeah,
Pankaj, sir, you would
pellet,
like to answer? Yeah, Andy Rao, sir.
yeah. Pellet exports, because they are talking on carbon emissions and carbon tax border adjustments and to there. But actually, if they look into the purpose of pellets, already in Sweden, LCAB, they use 100% pellets charged to the blast furnace, and their slag rate is the world's lowest, 165 kgs per ton of hot metal, comparing to various other, like in India. Of course, in India also, various plants like Tata Steel, JSW, JSPL, they have reduced significantly the slag rate. They have come down to below 200, around 200. They are there. So pellets contribute significantly to the carbon emission. That slag rate reduction means it's decarbonization. And best example is LCAB, Sweden. They are the first one to use 100% pellets and the world's lowest slag rate in generation.
Right, sir. Sir, now the time is over. We are at 1 p.m. I'll make a final speech for all of you. So, uh, ladies and gentlemen, as we draw near to the conclusion of our webinar on iron ore beneficiation, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for your active participation, insightful contribution, and unwavering support throughout this session. I'm truly humbled and honored to have had the opportunity to moderate this esteemed panel of experts and facilitate discussion on such a critical topic. Your valuable insight, perspective, and expertise have undoubtedly enriched our understanding of iron ore beneficiation and its significance in shaping a sustainable future for the industry. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to our esteemed panelists, Shri Abhijit Narendra, Dr. Sunil Duggal, Shri Pankaj Satija, Shri Andy Rao, and Dr. Vibhuti Roshan for sharing their knowledge, experience, and vision with us today. Your contribution have been invaluable, and I'm deeply grateful for your commitment to advancing the field of iron ore beneficiation. Though we tried a lot to reach out to Sri Saminathan ji, but I'm unable to connect with him to make him a presenter. Um, I would also like to extend my gratitude to our audience member for their active engagement throughout questions and enthusiastic participation. Your presence has truly made this webinar a collaborative and enriching experience. Lastly, I would like to thank the entire Metalogic team for their hard work, dedication, and professionalism in organizing and hosting this webinar. Without their tireless effort, none of this would have been possible. As we conclude this webinar, let us carry forward the insight gained and the connection made today to drive positive change and innovation in the field of iron ore beneficiation. Together, we can contribute to build a more sustainable and prosperous future for the industry. Thank you once again for your participation and support. I look forward to our continued collaboration and wish you all the very best in your future endeavors. Viewers, do not miss to attend the physical conference of Metalogic Iron Ore Conference in Visakhapatnam on 21st of June to meet all these people you have experienced today and deliberate and celebrate. Until we meet again, take care, stay safe, and goodbye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.